Two strange glowing creatures appeared in the forest, their bodies emitting an eerie blue light. A young couple happened to witness the scene.
Aliens!
By the time the girl snapped out of it, her boyfriend had already driven off alone, leaving her behind in the woods, but his karma came swiftly.
911, what's your emergency?
My boyfriend made contact!
Firefighters soon arrived and carefully cut through the wires trapping the boy, then rushed him to the hospital. Meanwhile, the captain became intrigued by what they called aliens. Early the next morning, he returned to the forest to search for clues, only to find numerous animal carcasses scattered on the ground. Sensing something was wrong, he suspected radiation and called in his team with hazmat suits. Dressed in full protective gear, they continued their search. Radiation levels were nearly off the charts. They soon found the source of the radiation. On the ground lay a cold, lifeless man, his body bloodied and swarmed with flies. Inside the house, a woman was slumped in a chair, barely alive, her flesh torn and bloody. On the table, a glowing blue powder shimmered ominously. Highly radioactive, just one day of close exposure would be enough to kill. The couple excitedly smeared the radioactive powder all over their bodies. Just one day later, their skin was torn and bloodied. A day earlier, the man had picked up a glowing metal canister from an old hospital. It emitted a bluish light. He cracked the glass with a knife. The powder on the table gave off an enchanting blue glow. They were thrilled, thinking they'd struck gold. They even poured some of the powder into a pendant and sold it at a high price to a woman at a night market. They used the powder for painting and smeared it across their entire bodies. But it didn't take long for the side effects to show up. The two went for a walk in the woods. Their glowing bodies ended up terrifying a couple who were out there on a date. Meanwhile, the woman who bought the pendant thought she had found a rare treasure. She gave it to her mother as a birthday gift to celebrate her 80th birthday. Just as the mother was about to open the gift, a team of firefighters in hazmat suits burst through the door, shocking everyone present. The captain scanned the area with a detector, and it led him straight to the canister in her hands. The firefighters carefully picked it up with a tool and sealed it in a lead container. The woman never imagined that buying a birthday gift could nearly cost her entire family their lives. The radioactive substance might have already shortened the lives of everyone present who had no protection whatsoever by several years.
Was it your birthday?
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Please.
She was heavily pregnant, but her husband was fooling around with another woman at a hotel. Furious, she went there to confront him, but the hotel owner blocked her, even mocking that she must not be good enough if her husband was seeking pleasure elsewhere. He even threatened to call the police if she didn't leave. Helpless and full of grievance, she walked away. She couldn't understand what she had done wrong, why everyone bullied her. The anger inside her kept building, about to explode. Just then, she spotted a bulldozer in the distance. If the world was full of malice, she might as well destroy it. She drove the bulldozer straight into the hotel. The hotel owner looked up and was stunned. He never thought a pregnant woman could be so terrifying. The woman, meanwhile, was shouting in excitement, finally releasing her pent-up anger and grievance. The hotel was reduced to rubble. She was buried beneath it. Soon, firefighters arrived. When they cleared the debris to rescue her, she refused to come out. She felt her life was over. She would be thrown into jail. Her cheating husband would win custody of the baby. Firefighters told her that a judge would be sympathetic to a pregnant woman fighting for her family. For the sake of her baby, she must not give up. Moved by their words, she grabbed the firefighter's hand, feeling a long-lost warmth. After getting her out, they immediately checked her condition. Luckily, the baby was fine, but unfortunately, she still had to go to the police station due to the damage caused. The woman felt a bit disappointed for not catching her husband in the act, but unexpectedly, things took a turn. Her husband, just finished with his mistress, came out to watch the commotion and was caught red-handed. Now, she had all the witnesses she needed to prove his affair. The firefighter received orders to rescue a resident, but the man suddenly pulled out a gun, insisting she was an alien.
Get out.
Okay, getting out.
Get out!
Getting out. Getting out.
The firefighter was completely baffled. What on earth was going on? It turned out that just moments earlier, there had been a serious gas leak in a residential building, and an explosion could happen at any moment. Upon learning the danger, most of the residents quickly evacuated with the firefighters. But this man pulled a gun on the firefighter trying to save him, accusing her of being an alien plotting to invade Earth. The firefighter was stunned. Was this guy mentally ill? Turns out he really was. He was suffering from severe delusional disorder. The firefighter didn't dare dare risk her life arguing with him, so she rushed back to report the situation to her captain. Hearing this, the captain decided to personally step in to persuade the madman. But honestly, would reasoning with a lunatic even work? Surprisingly, the captain's thought process was just as unorthodox.
We're with the resistance. We need to get you out of here, right now. Put this on. They have eyes everywhere.
Instead of arguing, the captain played along with the man's delusions and successfully coaxed the paranoid man out of the building.
Resistance, this is Alpha Team. Are we good for retrieval?
That's a Big 10-4.
The overlords are looking the other way, Cap.
No, I forgot my own locator. We have to go back. Whoa. Well, I needed to identify the overlookers. Without it, they could be anywhere. Taking the form of anything.
Detecting overlord vibrations.
The captain's son even joined the act, holding up an antenna and claiming it was a device for detecting aliens.
Move!
Just as they escaped, a massive explosion erupted behind them. Seeing the blast, the captain was filled with lingering fear. They had almost been swallowed by the fire.
The resistance will be forever grateful for what you did today.
Who would have thought Mike O'Hearn also appeared in 911? In the show, he plays the father of a bodybuilding champion, and he's a legendary competitor himself, having won countless titles. Most of the audience are his diehard fans. As the father and son struck a pose together with their trophies, the father accidentally cut his arm on the trophy. The wound burst open like a broken faucet, spraying synthetic oil several meters into the air. By the time the firefighters arrived, the crowd was already in an uproar, shouting in unison and calling him a fraud. The firefighters pushed their way through the crowd and examined the wound, confirming it was indeed synthetic oil leaking out. No one expected his success to be built on synthetic oil injections. It felt like a complete betrayal. No wonder the audience was furious. Turns out their idol had been fake all along. After treating the injury, they tried to rush him to the hospital, but the crowd surrounded them, refusing to let them leave. Fortunately, the police arrived just in time. A female officer cited criminal law, warning that deliberately obstructing emergency personnel was a prosecutable offense. If they continued to block the way, she had the authority to arrest them. That finally made the crowd back off, and the rescue team quickly left the scene. Just then, one of the judges called out to the champion, reminding him not to forget his trophy. But at that moment, he couldn't care less. He had only entered the competition to carry on his father's legacy. Now that his idol had fallen from grace, the trophy meant nothing.